Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Now, what I'm about to say is extremely dangerous, right? There's huge risk involved. This is far riskier than normal. And let me go one step further and say that, the bet's even against what I believe is going to happen in the fight, right? I believe Danny Green beats Danny Santiago. Danny Green's a huge favorite. In some books, he's a 20-1 favorite, right? So make no mistake, I believe Danny Green, an Australian fighting in Australia who actually looks good on film still, and who was beating Krzysztof Włodarczyk, the WBC Cruiserweight champion, at the end of 10 rounds in their last fight on the judges' scorecards, and who got stopped in the 11th round. And keep in mind, this is only a 10-round fight against Santiago, right? I agree, Danny Green still has a lot of gas left in the tank. I'm firmly expecting him to win this fight. But I'm a gambler. When I hear that Danny Green, who in his last 3 fights has weighed 195 pounds or more, has agreed to fight this fight at a catch weight of 185 pounds at 39 years old, then wow, that raises red flags all over the building for me. That's the kind of thing that leads me to believe there is a betting opportunity. When you see these fighters suddenly decide, especially older fighters, that they're just going to lose weight, get back to the weights they were in their prime, that they're just going to lose 10, 15 pounds. Keep in mind, for the Włodarczyk fight, Danny Green weighed 197. For the Antonio Tarver fight, Danny Green weighed 199. Now he's going to come in at 185. He's going to lose the weight, and he thinks he's going to feel the same. I don't. Danny Green, 20-1 favorite some places, 15-1 favorite other places. Let me just say, I don't like the weight loss. If you can get an over of some reasonable figure, right? Since Green's such a huge, and I mean a huge favorite, if you can get an over 6 rounds on this fight, over 6.5 rounds on this fight, I would take that bet. If you're really bold and you just want possible leverage that will allow you to bet both sides of the play, you might even want to think about taking Danny Santiago to win the fight, since you're getting something like 20-1 odds, and then hedge that against, Green by knockout or Green by decision, right? Let me just say too, there's a real tough fight to bet because Danny Santiago, the lighter guy who's been fighting at light heavyweight his career, has been knocked out by men smaller than Danny Green 5 times in his career, right? But if you look at the tape, you're going to see that he's actually pretty good defensively, right? The Beibut Shumanov KO in his last fight really was a premature stoppage. Santiago's still defending himself, right? The 2 fights before that, Santiago went the distance, right? So the way I'm playing this fight, in fact, I wish I could, I just can't find a casino that has an over-under here in the United States on this fight. But the way I would play this fight is Santiago to win at something like 20 to 1 or 15 to 1 odds straddled against the over, right? Danny Green is going to be explosive early, but his shorter opponent has a defensive construct. Not only that, if you look at the shorter opponent, you're going to find out that Santiago, who's older than Danny Green, has been fighting A-list fighters, right? He fought Antonio Tarver, got stopped in the 4th round, but the point is, Santiago has been in with world-class competition, right? His last fight was against WBA World Light Heavyweight Champion Babel Chumanov. So he's not going to be completely overwhelmed by fighting a world-class fighter. So I like, and this is purely an odds play, picking an underdog I don't even think is going to win the fight. Right? But this is gambling. We're looking for returns. You're not going to beat the market unless you take risk. And they're compensating you here with 20 to 1 odds. Right? I like Santiago to win the fight, straddled against the over. If the over is, let's say something reasonable like 6 rounds. Right? For a fight with this wide a spread, in Green's backyard, the over-under should be something like 6 rounds. Now let's talk about alternative betting strategy. If the over-under is higher, you can still fool around with it. Because what you would do is on the prop bets, since you already have Santiago on one side of the bet at ridiculous odds, better than 10 to 1 odds, let's say your over-under is 7 rounds. What you could do is take the over 7. And then you can take Danny Green to win in the 6th round and the 5th round if you want. Right? I believe the odds make it possible because you're getting 20 to 1 on one half of the bet. Right? The over 7 is probably even money, if not better than even money, because these fighters aren't even in the same weight class. Right? Keep in mind, the 185, believe it or not, is 12 pounds above where Danny Santiago last fought. Right? So I like a combination of Santiago to win. Even though I think he loses, I like Santiago to win. Straddled against an over 6 rounds. And if the over-under is higher than that, then the way I would play it is I would take the over and then I'd take Green in those in-between rounds. And if the odds permit, I would even go as low as 5 rounds. I'd take Green to win in the 5th, Green to win in the 6th, then I'd take the over. Here's what'll happen. If Santiago pulls the upset, you're sopping up gravy. You're getting 20 times your money on one side of the bet. Right? Not only that, if Santiago wins the fight by decision or in the later rounds, I know it's unlikely, but if he wins in the later rounds, right, by stoppage, and understand, Green has been stopped in his last 2 fights, then you would win both the 15 to 20 to 1 on the Santiago side of the bet, and you would win on the over. Right? But of course, if Danny Green gets an early stoppage in this fight, right, the first half of the fight, if Danny Green is able to get a stoppage in the first 5 rounds of this fight, then you lose it all. Understand the risk involved. I just feel that given Santiago's level of defense, and given the fact that Danny Green is 39 and losing 10 pounds, there is a distinct possibility that Danny Green's not going to be able to crack Santiago's defense early. And then he's going to have a problem in the second half of the fight dealing with the weight he doesn't have on him. I saw it with Chris Bird. Older fighters who lose weight and fight below their normal fighting weight, that's a recipe for disaster. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. It's high risk, but I think this fight goes over, and I would rather be on the side of the bet where I can get huge profits taking an underdog than betting on a 20-1 favorite. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here online. This is really more a betting strategy than a prediction. If I were to just take a winner in the fight, I believe it'd be Danny Green. But we want to do better than that, right? We actually want to get profits. So if you're on the green side of the aisle, your goal should really be to just break even. What you're really trying to do is to get a free crack at a 15-1 return, 20-1 return on the underdog here. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.